from the Frank Beck Chevrolet Studio Annex. This is Time Out Overtime on the Time Out Overtime YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenal. And before we get started, get down there in the corner, please. If you would do me a big favor, smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you. You know, the problem with having a 3-day hiatus in between shows is, especially this time of the year, there's so much on your plate. And I've got so many notes here. I've got a pile of papers. And to fit this all in the next 20 minutes would be nothing short of a miracle. So I'm going to have to leave some of this stuff for Thursday. I want to get to so many things tonight. I also want to pay homage at the end of the show today to a sports writer who has covered the Lions for a long, long time, who's finally decided he's going to retire. So I want to say something about that at the end of the show, too. So let's get started here, shall we? Time Out Overtime is sponsored in part by Frank Beck Chevrolet on M99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville. If it's time for a new to you vehicle, let the sales professionals at Beck's help you choose the right vehicle. New or pre-owned, Beck's has the top selection in the tri-state area with over 200 vehicles in stock. Stop by and see for yourself. And when you're ready, ask for Russ McMurdy, Chris Hodis, Danny Smith, Adam Schaefer, Blake Bryant, Cameron Mincio, or their newest sales professional, Bob Flynn. Yep, the one and only Bob Flynn. And when it comes time to service that new to you vehicle, like Service Pros at Beck's can fix it. Any make, any model, foreign or domestic, Beck's can fix it. And if you have a bit of a crunch or fender bender, Beck's Body Shop can put it back together looking just as good as new. So for all your automotive needs, look no further than Beck Chevrolet on N99 between Hillsdale and Jonesville at 517-849-2886 or on the web at frankbeckchevy.com. Come and experience the Frank Beck difference. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Where do we start? Okay, the Tigers tonight begin a 3-game series at home against the Washington Nationals. I think Kenta Maeda, coming off his last start where he only made 2 pitches, is going to give it another go tonight. So we wish him luck. Again, Tigers playing like it was when they played the Florida Marlins, another team with a losing record, and you expect them to maybe sweep or at least take 2 out of 3. It didn't happen the last time they did this. So if they don't sweep, they better take 2 out of 3. As we speak right now, there are 2.5 games out of that last wild card spot behind the Twins. Twins beat the Rockies last night. Of course, the Rockies aren't very good. I think they shut them out 2-0. 2, about the Tigers. Don't be surprised. The way's looking now like Turk Skubal. I would have to say right now he's probably the front runner to be the American League starting pitcher in the All-Star game next month. That's pretty good. After 13 starts, I made a little comparison to go back to you're talking about Skubal as a Cy Young candidate. Well, he's also an MVP candidate, folks. Especially if somehow the Tigers would be able to finagle their way into that final playoff spot. He'd have to be an odds-on favorite to win both Cy Young and the MVP. Justin Verlander, back in 2011, won the American League MVP. And I think he won the Cy Young that year too, didn't he? I have to go back and check on that. Anyway, so I thought I'd compare JV's MVP year of 2011 to where Tarek Skubal is right now after 13 starts. And JV, where he was after 13 starts the year that he won the MVP. So after 13 starts, Skubal has an ERA of 1.92. By the way, that's the lowest after 13 starts for the Tiger pitcher since you have to go back to 1945, I think. Hall of Famer Hal Newhouser. Anyway, after 13 starts, he's got an ERA of 1.92. So I went back and looked it up. JV, his MVP year after 13 starts, he had an ERA of 3.04 that year. Also, after 13 starts, Stark Skubal has relinquished 5 home runs. Verlander's MVP year of 2011, after 13 starts, he'd given up 10 home runs. In fact, check that. I stand corrected. Skubal has only given up 4 home runs this year, not 5, with an ERA of 1.92. So what I'm saying is his numbers at this point, after 13 starts, are much better than Verlander's were after 13 starts the year that he got the MVP award. This Saturday, the Tigers are in Houston. It's a 4:10 start. Unless something happens right now, the matchup for Saturday's game is Tarik Skubal versus Justin Verlander. And Saturday at 4:10. That might be worth watching. If you can get it. Is that an FS1 game or not Saturday? I haven't checked. Maybe that's an FS1 game. In that case, you wouldn't need Valley. Anyway. Is that all we're going to say about the Tigers right now? What we wanted to say about that? Yeah, I think so. Lions had to relinquish 1 day of minicamp yesterday for a rules violation. Anyway, they're back at it today and tomorrow. Players who have stood out for the Lions at the minicamp, players who have stood out, 1 through 5. I have listed 5 players who have stood out so far at the Lions minicamp. And I'm going to start with 5 and then go down to 1. Number 5 would be Jameson Williams. Looks like he has finally developed a chemistry with Jared Goff. Goff has nothing but good things to say about him. We're looking for a breakout year from Jameson Williams this year. Keep your fingers crossed. On number 4 on that list is the free agent kicker, pardon me, out of the University of Michigan, James Turner, who right now, everything I'm reading and looking at, is probably ahead of Michael Bashley in the battle for the Lions kicker. Yeah, I would think he is right now. He's had a very good camp. He's been consistent. He's got really good range. And I would think, like I said, everything I'm reading right now is he's ahead of Bashley in the kicker battle. We'll see what transpires once they get to camp and get into the exhibition season. That was number 4 on the list. Number 3, who's had a very good camp, Jack Campbell. I didn't think he was that bad last year, but he looks like he will be much better this year than he was last year. He could very well lead the team in tackles this year. In fact, I expect that. Look for a good year out of Jack Campbell. Number 2 on that list, defensive back Amik Robertson, who the Lions signed from the Raiders. He's had a great camp. He looks good. That little guy is tough, feisty. He's Dan Campbell's kind of player. Number 1 on that list, Khalif Raymond. Right now, if the season were to start, you'd have to say, of course, St. Brown starting in the slot. 2 guys on the outside right now would be Jameson Williams and Khalif Raymond. Yes, Raymond over Donovan Peoples-Jones. That's where that's at right now. Oh. Also, battle, like I said, there's nothing etched in stone about the Lions secondary either. Yeah, you've got a 3-way battle back there for that nickel spot right now between Robertson, Brian Branch, and Ennis Rakestraw. So I like that Lions secondary. I think the Lions defense is going to be much better this year. We just have to wait and see. But summing everything up, is it too early to tell right now what the best off-season addition was for the Lions? Is it DJ Reader? Is it Terrion Arnold, number 1 draft pick? Is it Kevin Zeitler, the guard that they signed from the Ravens? No, anyway. We'll see. Well, there was one thing I did want to come going back to baseball just for a second here. I want to throw a stat out at you. Since 1995, when the Major League Baseball brought the wild card into the playoff format, 1995, there have been 8 wild card teams since its inception to get to the World Series. I guess my point is it's not such a far-fetched thing that a wild card team would get to the World Series. It happened last year with the Arizona Diamondbacks. So bottom line is just get in. We get the trade deadline is about 6 weeks away yet. And I'm sure with each passing day, Scott Harris has to be sweating bullets, even now already. What are you going to do, Scott? Yeah. Buyers, sellers, you don't have to do anything. Just keep the cards you got. Hey, if you got a good hand, keep them. I may have said something too about the schedule. Looking at July, because of the All-Star game hiatus, the Tigers only play 25 games next month. But due to a quirk in the schedule, they're playing the Twins 6 times and the Indians 10 times in July. So in other words, 16 of the 25 games are against either the Twins or the Guardians. I think I might have said Indians. Excuse me. I'm still calling it that yet. After July 31st, that's it. The Tigers are done with both the Guardians and the Twins. They don't see them again at all for the rest of the season. In fact, they have a home series the first weekend in August against the Royals. Well, after that series, they only play the Royals 3 more times, and that's at the end of the season in September. I don't like the new schedule. If you're only playing the other 4 division teams 13 times, I wish they'd take it back and play them 19 times. I don't like playing every other team in Major League Baseball. I don't know why they felt compelled to do that. How do you folks feel about that? I don't like it. I wish they'd go back and put it the way it was, but that's not going to happen. One last thing I wanted to slip in there on baseball. The Lions, so they've got today and tomorrow yet. And after tomorrow, that's about it until training camp starts, July 29th, I think. They'll put the pads on, and that's when you really find out about somebody. Where are we going from here? Before we go any further, too, I'd like to put in a good word for Quality PC in downtown Hillsdale. Tim Lindley and his assistant, Zach. You will find no better tech servicemen in our area. We are so blessed to have these guys here in our midst. At 37 Waldron Street in downtown Hillsdale, a couple hundred feet west of Howell Street. Any technical service needs you have, these are the guys you want to see. Computers, new or used. If the computer you have now needs a little tweak, they can take care of that for you. Maybe you're thinking of buying a big screen smart TV. You got to have it mounted and programmed. They're the guys you want to see about that. Anything. Maybe you're changing internet providers. You need that set up for you. Like I said, anything at all. New or used printers, you name it, they'll take care of it for you. All your tech service needs right there in downtown Hillsdale at Quality PC, 37 Walton Street, 517-610-5372. Or better yet, get in there and see them. And when you do, would you please tell them Rick sent you? I'd appreciate that very much. Thank you. I need to wet the whistle here in just a second. All right. I look over here at this stack of notes, and what are we going to hit next? The Pistons update. I wish I had more to report on the Pistons. I really do. As I'm sure you heard by now, Danny Hurley, after being wined and dined by the Lakers, even talking to his team, he's the head coach at UConn, coming off 2 consecutive national championships. Last week at this time, it looked like a done deal. I think he had already pretty much spoken to his team, told them it was his lifelong dream to coach in the NBA. So he flies out to LA. He's wined and dined by the Laker head brass and didn't get done. They don't have a deal. What do you suppose happened there? He was being offered, is my understanding, somewhere a very lucrative long-term deal in the area of $70 to $80 million. You suppose maybe they might have told him we're going to draft the James kid here in the second round, so he could play with his daddy. He didn't go along with that. I don't know. It looked like a done deal. Somehow a monkey wrench was thrown in there, but they're probably glad to have him back at UConn. Speaking of the Lakers, their former coach, Darvin Ham, a former Piston, is in Milwaukee now. He signed on with the Bucks. He will be an assistant to Doc Rivers. Get you caught up there. Lions signed a linebacker by the name of Ben Neiman. And they released, sadly, a free agent linebacker they signed out of Ohio State. So we say goodbye to, sadly, Steele Chambers. We say goodbye to him. You got to love the name, don't you? T. Higgins, wide receiver for the Bengals, is holding out. No show at the mandatory Bengals camp. They slapped a franchise tag on him, $21.8 million, I think, for this year. He's not happy about it. He's looking for a long-term lucrative deal. Pardon me, that would pay him somewhere in the area of about 23 or 24 million a year. Look, T. Higgins is not the number one guy on that team. Let's face it. He's not an elite receiver. Lamar Chase is. They're going to have to pay Lamar Chase, but he's okay. He's an all right receiver. Would you like to see the Lions put in a call to them? Tell them, yeah, we'll give you a 4th or 5th round pick for him, but we're not going to slap the franchise tag on him. I think T. Higgins on this Lion team would be the greatest show on turf if he were on the outside opposite Jameson Williams. But again, there's a character issue involved here too. Like I said, this guy is a no-show at a mandatory minicamp. And they put the franchise tag on him. He's not happy about it. Well, I don't know. I don't think I would do that. The 49ers, I think, just extended McCaffrey, got a new deal. Louis Riddick thinks the next running back to get a big lucrative contract will be Jahmyr Gibbs. You not surprised to hear that? Yeah. Well, big news at the Big Apple, too. It's all over the tabloids making headlines, is the fact that Aaron Rodgers is not at the Jets' mandatory mini camp. In the words of head coach Robert Saleh, he is somewhere else attending another event that he thinks is more important than what they've going on at the mini camp. It's officially being called an unexcused absence. But Saleh did add he knew that he was going to be gone. Where'd he go? Did he go on another darkness retreat? System cleansing thing again or something or what? Anyway. It's all over the tabloids. It's headlines in New York today. Where is Aaron Rodgers? Nobody seems to know where he is, by the way. He could be sitting in the dark somewhere. Speaking of the Lions, the latest Las Vegas, I'm going to hang in here with me, folks. I got a lot of stuff to go through in a short time to do it. The latest Las Vegas odds, Super Bowl odds. Number 1, the Chiefs are plus 600. Number 2, the 49ers, plus 650. The Lions are not number 3. The Ravens are plus 1,100. The Lions are number 4, plus 1,200. Next, you've got the Bills, Bengals, Texans, and Eagles all at plus 1,400. Packers come in at plus 1,600. The Cowboys plus 1,800. I'm not going to go over the whole thing. Those are Las Vegas odds. Pro Football Focus, maybe we'll have a little more time to spend on this. They've come out with their list of top 32 offensive tackles. I'm not a little surprising that Penny Sewell is not at the top of the list. Trent Williams of the 49ers is. I can't argue with that. But of course, he's a left tackle. I am a little bit surprised. Sewell is not at number 2. Christian Wirtz is. Sewell is number 3 on that list. By the way, Taylor Decker came in at 14. Sewell's overall grade, by the way, was 92.8. As I said before, I have a lot of respect for the folks at Pro Football Focus. Just a little bit surprised Sewell was not ahead of Christian Wirtz. But, okay. Hit and run on everything here. We're going through everything before we say goodbye to Mike Ohara. Looking. I think we have covered just about everything that I wanted to get to. Oh, sadly we have another sports obituary. The son of Pete Maravich had passed away at the age of 42. I have no cause of death. This was unexpected. His father, of course, was Pete. Died at a very young age of an undetected heart condition while he was playing a pickup basketball game. He was only 40 at the time. There could be something genetic going on there. I don't know, but this is very sad. Josh Maravich, son of Pete Maravich, gone at the age of 42. And as I say, that no cause of death listed. This didn't exactly make headlines either, but okay, all right. Pistons update. I wish I had more report on the Pistons, but the general manager frontrunner is apparently Dennis Lindsay, who's a current advisor for the Mavericks. He interviewed for Trajan Langley's job. Of course, that went to Langdon. But he right now is the frontrunner for the next Piston general manager, Dennis Lindsay. He spent most of his years with the Jazz, and he was credited with drafting Donovan Mitchell, hiring Quinn Snyder, and putting together a team that finished first in the Western Conference during the COVID-shortened season. They've also added a right-hand man for Langdon. His good friend, close associate, Michael Blackstone, is now the vice president of basketball operations. Looks like he will be Langdon's right-hand man. He worked with Langdon in New Orleans, serving as vice president of basketball administration down there since the 2021 season. And those are front office moves. Also, it looks like we've been able to confirm that Langdon has carte blanche. He's got the car keys. He's free to do whatever he wants with this team. Front office, player personnel, whatever. And the draft, by the way, is 2 weeks from tomorrow. And we do know that there are 3 teams right now who are interested in trading up. In case the Pistons were considering trading that number 5 pick. Chicago is one team. And Memphis is another, and Portland. Portland, would you want to see? I don't know if I want to trade that number 5 pick or not. Would you like to see Jeremy Grant back here? A deal that would include him. Jeremy Grant back with the Pistons. I don't think so. I wish I had more report, folks, on the Pistons, but that's about it right now. For the most part, it's been crickets, front office moves. Look, normally when you hire someone who's going to head the team, as we said, that he's got carte blanche to do whatever he wants. This is the new guy running the show. You're not trying him out there and making him available to the press for answering a lot of relevant, pertinent questions regarding what direction the team is going in. They said the draft is 2 weeks from tomorrow, what you're going to do with the draft. You've got all this cap space to work with. I don't know where they are with Monty Williams. Have they spoken? Maybe they don't want to have a press conference because they're not sure Monty Williams is going to still be around here. I don't know. It's frustrating. Wish we knew more about what was going on right now. But I'm sorry. That's all we have to report. A couple of front office moves. I'd like to get to meet Trajan Langdon, see what he has to say. But so far, nothing. A little frustrating if you're a Piston fan right now. I say there have been 3 teams, Portland, Chicago, and Memphis, that have shown an interest in trading up. So you've got 3 possible trade partners you might have if you're the Pistons. It's frustrating if you're a fan for a team that won 14 games last year. Obviously, Langdon's got his work cut out for him. All you can do is wish him good luck. And I said, I don't know where Monty. Why don't the Lakers inquire about Monty Williams? Take him off our hands. We'd probably have to eat most of that contract, but we'll see. And Mike Ohara, who has been covering the Detroit Lions since 1977, beat writer for the Detroit News since 1977. The last 7 years, he's been with DetroitLions.com. 78 years old, spent 42 years in Detroit, and he covered more than 500 Lion games in his career. He told Deadline Detroit a contributing factor to his stepping down was an issue with his eyesight, which made the job more challenging. Ohara says he will miss the camaraderie with the players, the writers, the coaches. Well, that's a long time. 1977, before he was the Lion beat writer for the News in 1977. I think prior to that, Jerry Green was the Lions beat writer. And Mike Ohara stepped in there after he also, I heard an interview with him this morning. Before he took the Lion job in 77, he was working with the News. He was covered the Tigers for 1 year in 1976. Of course, that was a magical year for Mark the Bird Fivrich. He talked about how much fun he had covering the Tigers that year. Mike, we're going to miss you. Going to miss your football expertise on all things Lions. Congratulations. He is also I should mention too that he's a Vietnam War vet. Marvelous career, Mike. We're going to miss your voice, your insight, your knowledge. Best of luck in your retirement. And like I said, we will miss you. Lion, writing about the Lions since 1977. So long, Mike. Good luck in your retirement. You deserve it. Congratulations. That'll about do it for us. I think we spent enough time. I tried to fit everything in here in just a little bit of time, but I had to do it. I will be with you again on Thursday. Don't forget, though, Time Out with Andy Brown every Saturday morning here locally from 9 to 10 on WCSR 92.1 FM. Whew, I think we got everything in. I will talk to you again on Thursday. Until then, treat each other with respect. Thank you for watching.